We bring the guests in studio, we quiz them and analyze the issue. Once again, this is your regular Monday friend, K. Lyndon Togba, on the FOCA Online TV. Hello guys, my name is K. Lyndon Togba. I'm your humble presenter of the program, The Focal Point. As the demand for critical analysis and reliable information continues to be the appetite of the Liberian population, it is incumbent upon media practitioners to always be objective, independent, and fact-based in their reportorial duties. The clarion call for credible, reliable, and issue-based presentation must be considered at all times. In the wake of these functions and duty to service, it is only one show that stands tall among the rest. Focal Point, a program where we scrutinize, examine, and cross-examine by allowing the audience participate by posting and calling and commenting on the subject under discussion. We bring the guests in studio, we quiz them and analyze the issue. Once again, this is your regular Monday friend, K. Lyndon Togba, on the FOCA Online TV.
Okay, folks, welcome to September 16, 2024 edition of the program Focal Point on FOCA Online TV. It has been quite a long time because we are working on our transitional process. Like you have been following, for those of you who have been regularly following our Facebook page, there have been a couple of announcements made about our transitional process, and we are still working on that. It is actually a very long process that we have been engaged with. So as it stands, it appears to be very, very fruitful based upon all of the progress we have made over the period of time. So it is very, very fruitful, and we expect to transition anytime from now. So welcome for those of you following. My name is K. Lyndon Togba. It's good to always be here to contribute meaningfully to the subject under discussion. I see my professional colleague, Ambassador Uriah Faith Nyimpan. I want to thank you for watching this program. You know, Uriah is a very professional young man. He reports from the DNN News. So thank you, colleague, for watching this program. So too many things happening in our country, Liberia. It is important for us to contribute meaningfully to the many issues that are happening currently in our country, Liberia. So, of recent, particularly on September 13, that was Friday of last week, there is this sentiment and allegations about the former ruling coalitions of democratic change, that is the official headquarters of CDC, about a court order and so forth. Lots of people have something to say. They were, the entire internet was flooded with messages, and some was very concerned about the situation. while others try to exploit the situations from its original intent and try to make try to make fun of the situations. However, I have done my own research. I have done my own research, and I will definitely make my input subsequently. But for those of you who are watching, keep sharing the live video. Colleague Uriah Gimpan, I know you are watching. Keep sharing. I think it is important for you to watch my back while I also watch your back. It is important. This is my trusted colleague. Um, so many things happening in our country. The president of recent made a trip to two destinations, particularly the two destinations, China and that of Indonesia, and so many so many controversies regarding the president's trip. We would also like to talk about that. We would also love to talk about that. So many controversies about the president, about the president, about the president's trip. Lots of. But before then, let's take a short break. When we come back, we will definitely bring you up to speed with where we are and what our thoughts are based upon all of the issues in our country.
Hello guys, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm your humble presenter of the program, The Focal Point. As the demand for critical analysis and reliable information continues to be the appetite of the Liberian population, it is incumbent upon media practitioners to always be objective, independent, and fact-based in their reportorial duties. The clarion call for credible, reliable, and issue-based presentation must be considered at all times. In the wake of these functions and duty to service, it is only one show that stands tall among the rest. Focal Point, a program where we scrutinize, examine, and cross-examine by allowing the audience participate by posting and calling and commenting on the subject under discussion. We bring the guests in studio, we quiz them, and analyze the issue. Once again, this is your regular Monday friend, K. Lyndon Togbat, on the Focal Online TV.
So welcome back. Thank you. So let's go to the Front Page Africa newspaper, one of the leading newspapers in the country. CDC Koji vows to maintain HQ accuses UP governments of weaponizing quote to evade party. Then at the front of the paper, you see CDC Koji vow, okay, political witch hunt or unity parties playbook. So that's the question that is being asked. So let's give you the details of the story, and subsequently we will give in our analysis about the situations. So in November 2021, the Unity Party, then in opposition, was evicted from its national headquarters in Congo Time. The property owner, long-time affiliates of the UP, sued the party over unpaid rent and sought a court order eviction. Before the court ruling, rumors circulated that the UP had already vacated the premises, prompting the party to issue a statement denying the claims. The UP clarified that it has disagreed with the landlord over rental fees and had requested the court to allow more time for negotiation to find an amicable resolution. According to the party's statement, both sides initially agreed to reduce the annual rent from $60,000 to $30,000 payable monthly. The party also invested about $30,000 in renovation. However, the property owner later demanded an increase in rent of $100,000 annually, leaving the UP dismayed The UP wasn't satisfied, so dismayed. Some UP members accused the ruling coalitions of democratic change of orchestrating the evasion that was then. In a statement, the UP expressed disappointment with the McLean's family, longtime business partners, accusing them of politicizing the rent dispute. The UP is dismayed and disappointed that the McLeans, a family that the UP has done favorable business with for years, have decided to politicize the rent issue by disseminating what was once a private matter between the two parties to the public, the UP said back then. The UP assured its partisan supporters and the public that the issues could be resolved in accordance with the extension given the court for the parties to dialogue on their arrears. Despite assurances from the UP that the issues could be resolved, the court ultimately issued an eviction order. Although UP said we're going to resolve the issue, and the court said we're going, now in similar shoe. Now the CDC finds itself in similar situation, facing eviction from its headquarters. The UP before the CDC is accusing President Joseph Boakai of using the code to encourage them from their current location. The CDC has maintained a strong standing relationship with the Bernays family, owners of the property since its inception from former President George Weah. And the Bernays family are close associates of Weah's and the CDC. In 2009, the CDC was evicted from its Congo town headquarters due to a dispute within the Bernays family. The party temporarily relocated to Weah's residence on 9th Street, but returned to its headquarters in 2010 after the family resolved the internal conflict. For the past 6 years under Weah's leadership, the party enjoyed stability at its headquarters. However, following the change in government earlier this year, a court order for the CDC eviction was issued. In March, term of court, the 6th Judiciary Civil Law Court Annex A ordered the eviction of the party after a private Liberian citizen won a lawsuit against the party. The Supreme Court upheld a lower court ruling in an indictment action filed by Ibrahim Van Demser on behalf of Martha Stupefield Bernard. On March 7, 2024, Judge Gloda Elliott issued a writ ordering the CDC eviction from its headquarters. The situation escalated on Friday, September 13, 2024, when the court rendered another decision in favor of Bernard, prompting the CDC Secretary General Jefferson Koji to accuse President Boakai of masterminding the eviction. Koji talked to social media, assuring partisans that the party's headquarters remain secure and accusing President Boakai of orchestrating the eviction. After receiving barrage of calls from in and around the counties and abroad, from partisans and sympathizers and concerned Liberians about the parties being evicted, we want to assure every partisan home and abroad and concerned citizen, as well as our international partner, that the CDC cannot and will not be imaginarily evicted by President Boakai's effortless attempt to erase the CDC, Koji said. He added, partisans can go to bed. The CDC will not take a micro inch from its headquarters on the remaining 5 years of Mr. Boakai as Mr. Boakai continues to weaponize the court. It is indeed tantamount to having him evicted from the presidency. So that was why an executive member of CDC said. So let's read further. Let's go strictly to Jangako issue. CDC acting chairman seeks court attention. On Thursday, September 12th, CDC chairman Jangako appeared in court to seek redress after filing a bill of information, co-arguing that the CDC has been a paying tenant and that the property owner claims for evasion is unnecessary. Cole emphasized the need for the presiding judge to review the CDC's bill before making any ruling. He urged the court to hear the case properly, warning that ignoring the party's plea could lead to chaos. Anyone who goes to court in Liberia deserves to be heard. If the court refuses to hear the matter, it violates the Constitution, Cole said, expressing hope that the judge could consider the party's appeal. So that is it. But here is what I make about this situation. In 2021, the then opposition Unity Party led Liberia after we transitioned from several years of bloodshed as a country, and they had the opportunity to the democratic opportunity to lead this country for 12 unbroken years. Despite massive opportunity to their disposal, they abandoned the varieties of opportunities they had at the time, and they could not secure a property, to maintain the integrity of the political party. You understand? So they were evicted as a result of not being able to pay rent to their landlord. Properties in Liberia, one thing you should understand is that it depends on how the arrangement over that property is. So considering that a particular person, you are connected to a particular person, doesn't mean that the person can unilaterally make decision when it comes to issue regarding their property. So there is a possibility that I am connected to the party, but I alone do not own the property. So whenever it comes to the decision-making process of that property regarding rent issue, although I will use my influence to have it resolved one or two times, but it cannot be done on a consistent basis. It cannot be done on a consistent basis. So, like the article said, that person was an affiliate. The family member has been an affiliate. But when it reached to the issues about paying their money for renting the property, the people could not swallow the issues of their entitlement. They could not swallow the issues of their entitlement. So one way or the other, they had to disagree. When it happened in the Unity Party case, some UP partisans felt that at the time it was the government of former President George Weah that was politically interfering with the justice system. Because at that time, UP has transitioned probably to an opposition political party. Several other issues, people were criticizing the Unity Party for not being very responsible as a political party, for not being able to secure a property that could forever recognize the relevance of the party. People say all sorts of things about Unity Party then. So we expected many Liberians who follow the trend of that issue expected CDC at the time to learn from the mistake. Many people The last time, I was just passing and I decided to listen, at a particular Atai center. And a CDC partisan was very surprised. All day long, he thought that property has been bought by the CDC. So when the allegation surfaced, when the situation surfaced, he was denied. And he could not agree. He could not agree. He could not agree to the situation. But here is it. Many people felt disappointed in the Unity Party over the fact that, considering the political party that led this country for 12 years, and it wasn't even the 12 years that Unity Party got into existence. Unity Party has been one of the oldest political parties. The Unity Party has been one of the oldest political parties in Liberia. We said all sorts of things about Unity Party, criticize Unity Party. CDC now. CDC could not learn from the experience. They could not learn from the experience. Now, the issue has arisen. And you want people to believe that, this particular process has some level of politics in it. Those are the same things the UP people said. So regarding that particular issue, I don't think it should be a strange issue. I don't think it should be a strange issue, because there will be people will always accuse, people will always point fingers. People will always point fingers. Although we have heard that there were several attempts made by some executive members within the CDC to purchase the headquarters, but there were, it has also been alleged that they could not come to one understanding regarding the purchasing of the headquarters. At the same time, we are also hearing that under the CDC, 6 years, it has been alleged that they have not been paying rent based upon what has been in the public, based upon information that has been in the public. So I think where it stands, it doesn't require the issues about pointing fingers. It's about having the situation resolved, whatever the demands of the landlord is or the family. You people can try to amicably resolve the situations instead of pointing fingers at a particular person. That was the same issues. The Unity Party, when they had the opportunity to have the situations amicably resolved, they didn't do it. They were pointing, they were making all kinds of statements. How there was a political interference and so forth. The best time you have now is to be able to negotiate with the family, because this is a complete disgrace. This is a complete disgrace. Remember, you were earlier evicted from your party headquarters. That should, moving back to that particular place because of its, because of its suitable location. The best thing you should have done was to put several options on the board, call the families to a meeting, considering the fact that you have one of the relatives who is an ally to the former president and as well as the CDC. You could utilize that guy to influence his brothers and sisters and whosoever that is connected to that particular property. Probably on a very feasible agreement. You people you people could reach to that understanding. You didn't do it. You didn't do it of all of the time you had. 6 years. 6 years. And you want people to believe that the government is politically interfering into the court's decision. We need one of the things in Liberia, and this has happened, and it is almost becoming a culture of shifting blames in Liberia. This is what I have observed over the period of time. Whenever the person is unable to perform a particular thing, he tries to shift blame. Instead of him looking for ways to have that issue resolved, he will be here and there trying to shift blames. So this issues about the blame game syndrome has to stop. As it stands, you can negotiate with the family. And I think the negotiation as it stands now should be around purchasing, considering the massive investment you have made over the period of time. Because any attempt to allow the CDC to be evicted, it could have a lot of consequences attached. You could be no different from the Unity Party. Probably the only difference could be the time interval. The Unity Party led this country for 12 years and they were unable to secure a party headquarters. And you two led this country for 6 years. You yourself was unable. Probably that's the only difference to be the time interval. First of all, we need to break, we need to actually do away with this thing. A political institution, when a single individual property can even be more than the political party. But at the end of the day, you would tell the partisans that the political party remains supreme. What sort of supremacists are you talking about? If the party does not have a legitimate property to be forever remembered, what kind of supremacists are you talking about? I think the supremacist issue is supposed to be about owning a property, creating programs that try to empower your partisans. This is not about the CDC. All other political parties, the ANC, the ANC, the UP. Now, the UP is back in power. They have another 6 years based upon their performance. The Liberian people could choose to say, let us re-elect them. It is about time that we need to be more organized in our politicking. It is about time that we need to be far-sighted. Let us remember that a political party should never, if you look in Liberia, I am one person, I am one Liberian who fundamentally disagree with the way political parties are structured in this country. I 100% disagree with the way they style, the faction in which political parties are being organized in Liberia. For typical example, let's look at the ruling Unity Party. After the 2005 elections, Ellen got appointed, Ellen got elected as president of the Republic of Liberia. And in 2006, she led this country. And later on, when they went to the elections in 2017, former vice president, now president of the Republic of Liberia, Joseph Newman Boakai, took over the party, and he lost to Sakot Akom, who we now regard as former president of the country. George Weah. But here is what I'm driving at. Here is my point I am making. We always anchor party on the basis of individual. So as part of the reasons why someone, in the 2017 elections is because probably there was this internal division within the party in 2017 that made candidate Joseph Boakai at the time to lose the elections. That made candidate Joseph Boakai to lose the election. Because when the people are serving the positions, they don't even think that, oh, we need to familiarize ourselves with the parties, especially those people who are in key political positions at the level of the party. They don't do that. When the election is closer, that is when they come. And at that time, you would take few moments to convince other people, because this person has always been, has already been accustomed to the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf style, the way she has been conducting the parties over for years. So surfacing as a political leader of the party, you will need to convince other people. Because one thing you should consider is that there are people who join the political party because a particular individual is the political leader of that party. It's not on the basis of what the doctrines of the party say. Now, let's go back to CDC. It is with no doubt it is with no doubt. And even former President George Weah is on record after he conceded to President Joseph Nyaman Boakai. He is on record for saying this, that if you don't want me to be in your party, you can control the party, but I will go and form a new political institution, and the people will definitely follow. The people will definitely follow. So in Liberia, party is only surrounded around a particular person. The case now, based upon what we know for sure, you don't need a rocket scientist to tell you that because of the age of the current president, Joseph Nyaman Boakai, and he will only contest for one term. It is obvious. It is obvious that the president may likely contest, will only lead this country for. So that makes him a legacy president. That makes him a legacy president because he doesn't have the age as compared to former President George Weah. He doesn't. You and I know, for those of you who have been religiously following the trend of our politics during the 2023 elections, the issues about the president's candidate Joseph Boakai age at the time was all around. A lot of people, some of the people fundamentally, back up from supporting the Unity Party because of the age issue. Although there were other disagreements that they had with the Unity Party. But the age issue, as well as the health issue, was one thing everybody was concerned about. Everyone was concerned about. So now, Joseph Boakai is currently the president. For what I know of, they will continue to be running me, and before 2028, probably 2028, they will try to revitalize the Unity Party. They will try to revitalize the Unity Party. Because S, Y, and Z want to contest on the Unity Party because of the party's popularity influence. Everyone, so far so good. They have not been politically engaged, administratively engaged with the party issue. One of the things our leader need to understand in this country, not everyone will work in government. Sometimes you have to open up the party. You have to make the parties very proactive. The party should not be proactive because of electionary purpose. Let the presence of the parties be felt. That is one spirit. I think the CDC as a political institution tries to activate. Let the party, let the presence of the party be felt continuously. Let the party be engaged with the people who elected you. Let the mobilization arm of the party be very effective. Going around to convince partisans It is only during election time you can see them, hey, blah, 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 and so forth. And after election, the party appears to be very, very active. I am talking to the CDC. I am talking to the Unity Party. I am talking to the ANC and all of the political parties that participated in the elections of recent. That is shame on our part. That is a complete shame on our part. That is a complete shame on our part. That only during the course of election, the relevance of a political institution, of a political party is felt. I really don't get it. Now, there is even no program for partisans. But we want you to believe that if they take over, they will create the requisite avenue, they will create the needful avenues to empower, to stimulate our capacity building for partisans. But after the elections, after they are successful in their political agenda or their political struggle, the party returns to, the party returns to normalcy, very inactive. We need to actually break that particular cycle, that trend of politicking in Liberia. The party needs to be fully active. What during the political, during the political season, and even after the political season, let the presence of the party be felt. Let the presence of the party be felt. This is something we need to, this is a message that I think we need to preach. You will have all of the big names, deputy minister, the other minister, blah, 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 blah. And so forth. At the end of the day, you can see anything. So we'll take a short break and we'll come back.
Brabby, why you taking? Oh, man, picking anything. Okay, get my Brabby, bottle water, like drink. When I bottle water, I'm one of my big legs. Oh, Brabby. How can you know that you not know I put it? When you say NZ, you my alley exclusive. Love is sweet and sure I know. So I enjoy my life. Because anytime I can go. Love you and leave me, let me do me.
The other weekend, I went to myself. The way they be in the start going, I will feel myself. My money I finish by moving from yourself.
So I hit the club. People were dancing, but I choose to say upset because I went there for something. Then I saw the fine girl was kayaking, I won't go ask it. I said, let me try my luck and see. Maybe she agree. And I can't come to see someone who I let them holler. So I talk to myself, let it be your man. But I'm fair, you go be your man. You go be your man.
So I walk out the door, I say, "Fine girl, hello, what you doing?" She say, "Fine, what you drinking?" She say, "Shinta." I say, "Partner, I get a 10." She like, "Wow." Nete, thank you.
Baby, don't thank me, you deserve it. Oh, queen, yeah, you deserve it. When you want some more, I provide it. So we start to talk. Conversation going deep and deeper. Putting thought to each again. Be like living sense in her brain. Anything I thought like, baby, let go now. She say, we going to my house. She say, where Banavero? She say,
She agree from waiting down. We are now. I want operate. Juice and bring a blind little door. Me when I get it down. Oh.
When she talking for a jet, I thought I was a joke. When I go back there again, she thought I think I think again. I won't force it. But when I force it, man, that rape that crime will go to jail. So I play my cool, I choose to leave it. When I go, I will show happy. I will go to PP, I will show happy. Ah, for that is a hero.
Take Brennan, she go on and she call me on my phone. Oh, baby, I'm gonna send my mobile money no more. You send me money, I'm call it pepper soup.
I'm gonna send it or I'm gonna send it. I stay there, I won't send it, but I choose to send it. So I thought I said text me the number, I will send it. Then I send it. More she call me, said to say thank you. I said let me call her to confirm it. Then I call, she said she received it. Then she ordered the phone for my ear. Jaletta. Then I call her back, she say, hey, how I never back. Minute later she text me again. I must send her that card.
I didn't take me a bit. Anyway, I sent all the card again. I did not nothing. I sent it.
We gon' pass again. Me and her then we follow again. I look at her, she look at me. I was passing by her, then she hold my hand. She say, speak to me and you not make no palaver. I said, speak at first. She said, play alone. What your story? I say, I get story. She said, let's pray together now. I said, you and who? Believe me, man.
At the end of the day, we stay sitting together. We had the same conversation. We chill the same way again. She agreed to follow me. Now again, my crib.
Yeah, so we hit my crib. She said, give me water, let me pay. She came from the bathroom with towel all around her waist. Then she lay down on the bed. I'm gonna lay down too. And I make her move. When she can say, hey man, I enjoy myself, I can go to bed, we go again, I enjoy myself. I really enjoy myself.
Since she left the crib, I call mom pass by, she call me. Oh baby, I begin call me again, I say nothing. Oh, say you going out to that, I said no, I'll be busy. Oh, if you say that thing, one day you already get it now. So you'll be bad. I said no, baby, they're not here. I really busy the feed it.
Okay, welcome back, folks. Welcome back. It's always good to thank you for joining us again. President Joseph Boakai made a very important trip in which two destinations so far, based upon what the executive mentions and pictorial evidence in our possessions. The president went to Indonesia, he went to China. But predominantly, the trip that was made to China, where the president was opportune to have bilateral discussions with his Chinese counterpart. He was privileged to have, he was opportune to have discussions with the Chinese president. But here is what I make about the president's trip. Few years back, former President George Weah was in power. This news, there were so many, the opposition, by the time the opposition's community were very The opposition community was very, very, very reactive to every move made by the coalitions of democratic change government. Are we really observing the opposition, excluding the CDC that has recently left power, being very reactive, like the way we saw the consolidations from opposition political parties under former President Weah? I can tell you, no. So far, one of the parties, excluding CDC, one of the parties that indulged the Unity Party during the run of elections, the LPP of Tiawan Ganglo, they have been joining voices with the former ruling party to criticize the president. It is good for oppositions to always be proactive. The issues about being proactive when you are in opposition is very good, but you should be proactive, taking into considerations that whether your proactiveness or your proactive trend is actually resonating with the public. It is actually good to be proactive, but you should be proactive. At the same time, you should be promoting the issues about patriotism. So, when former President Weah made trip, there were several other trips that President Weah made when he served as president of this country a few years ago. Several other trips. And the number of people he used to carry along the trip, particularly with the Unity Party, a constituent member of the opposition at the time, they were criticizing and saying it was a waste of taxpayer money and so forth. In 2023, the Liberian people went to the elections. The outcome of the elections has favored the Unity Party. The outcome of the elections, the outcome of the presidential election, and somehow the legislative election has favored the Unity Party with President Joseph Boakai serving in the nation's highest seat. But then, before Ex-Senator Powell, there were several other commitments they made to the Liberian people. They managed to convince the Liberian people on the rescue mantra, breaking on the popular slogan, "No business as usual." That is to say, there were several other things they classify as the excesses on the Unity Party regime, on the CDC, the Coalitions of Democratic Change regime. They were going to thwart. They were not going to dance to what the CDC did. So the Liberian people say, yes, let us give them a chance to demonstrate their leadership. So they were given the opportunity to demonstrate their leadership ability. Since January 22nd up to where we are, we just have about few more months to mark exactly 1 year since the Unity Party took office. But Liberians are observing Liberians are watching from afar. Some of them who were very instrumental during the electoral process, because there is absolutely no way you can disassociate the diaspora community. They were the one, a lot of them I know, who call back and tell their family members, you need to vote X, Y, and Z. Some of them, if you afford them the opportunity to give their own analysis, their own assessments about the government based upon what they said it was going to do for the Liberian people and what they criticized, you will realize that the Unity Party of President Joseph Boakai is almost like playing to the same thing former President Weah was doing. He criticized the number of people going on a single trip. They classify it as a squandering, although it's actually a squandering of resources. When people are not very important to a particular trip, there is absolutely no need to carry them. There is absolutely no need. There were several other persons that went there that I saw when the president returned. Those people were very unimportant. They were very dispensable to the trip. I saw the phone. I got the CEO of Cool FM. He traveled with the president. I don't know what arrangement was done. He traveled with the president. We are hearing that he has a family link with Sarah Besler Yanti, who happens to be the Minister for Foreign Affairs. So how can you criticize a government for carrying more people and you come there, there is absolutely no change, and probably you are even carrying more people on the single trip, which is resulting for the government to spend more money on that trip. Then it brings us to a conclusion. It brings us to a point to evaluate as to whether your motive at the time, your criticisms at the time, your rebuke at the time was only intended to create a space for you to resurface to the nation's leadership. Let's go again. While the president was in China, we heard from governments, government from several other media outlets and people posting and so forth that, the president was able to secure, sign varieties of MOUs. To our utmost surprise, when the president came, he had a meeting. He had a gathering where he was able to disclose to the Liberian people of all of the deal. And I want to commend the president for that. I want to commend the president for being very transparent. I want to commend the president for being very open. Why his folks were trying to deceive the Liberian people, the president was very open. He outlined all of the discussions he had in China, inclusive of the commitments that were made. That is what they call open government. Whenever you try to shield a particular thing, it gives way for speculation. One of the things they need to realize is that the election is over. You are in government. You are working for the betterment of our country, Liberia. And the progress of our country, Liberia, should be your utmost concern. You are not trying to, although you are trying to impress people, but let your impressions be on the basis of reality, and stop being deceptive. Stop being deceptive. Stop being deceptive. For there is a need that the presidents need to have these kind of discussions with the people. Hey, look here, we came, that we made a commitment to the Nigerian people that we're going to do a totally different from what our predecessors did. So every one of you need to put your hands on the deck to support this agenda. That's how the Liberian people get to know that the president is being very sincere. But the people say $3.1 billion due in oil refinery, and the location of that activity was to be done at the Buchanan port. That is a very good deal. That is a very good deal. But are you being very sincere about it? No. Because even the president the president did not mention that. The president did not mention that. The president did not mention any $3.1 billion oil refinery deal. So that was a complete PR blunder. The Liberian people have a saying that to lie is very difficult. You cannot continue to run the government on the basis of lie. You are no longer campaigning. You should see this opportunity you now have as a privilege to serve the Liberian people and make your legacy. That today Liberians will remember you, that when the Unity Party was in power, when the Unity Party, Joseph Boakai government was in power, this is what they did. Although they made the commitment to the Liberian people based upon their manifesto, but however they were able to achieve this, that is what we call open government. Transparency. You spoke about transparency, accountability. You should be living up to those tenets, those core values that you once proclaimed during the electionary period. You want to impress falsely. That cannot help. It is difficult to lie because the people will get to realize that all X, Y, and Z, the promise is blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the day, they cannot see anything. We need to be sincere. We actually need to be sincere as a country. So, okay, folks, that is all of the time we have to be with you on the program Focal Point on Focal Online TV. My name is K. Lyndon Toba, and tomorrow we will be here to discuss many of these issues in our country, Liberia. Many of these issues in our country, Liberia. This is how I choose to say bye-bye from my end. But before leaving you, let's play our theme song. Yeah.